So if that particular product is already there in your account, so it will be showing that this is the product, you have already launched it, it's present in your account, so you can modify or you can do anything with the instance. But if it is not there, it will be showing no instance is present. So will you create it? If you just go ahead with that one, you have to fill it up all the required details to create a particular instance. Suppose you want to launch a particular server. So what are the required things? So the required thing is the operating system of the server, whether it's Linux, whether it's Windows, you have to choose it. The particular instance type of the server that we mentioned in yesterday's session. So there's a lot of instances available. So what different instance means? I mean, maybe the instance sizes, memory size means RAM size, CPU numbers and all. Okay. And the particular networking part, particular logging part, logging to this particular server, how that can be done. So all those parameters you need to choose one by one and you need to submit it. After submission, it will take few minutes of time and it will be get ready for you. So that is the whole concept we'll be learning today with suitable screenshot over here in PPT. If there is any stuck point or anything, please tell me. Okay. So it's day 2 for cloud computing. We are going ahead with the examples with only AWS as of now. Yes. Let me just move this thing up. It's not. Yeah. Okay. So today the first topic, the first product we'll be launching today, it's EC2. EC2 I mentioned yesterday. EC2 is the full form of EC2. It's Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay. This is the name. Is there any blocking in the overhead panel over here of Zoom? It's blocking the screen sharing as well to you.
No, Saptik, I can see the screen.
Okay, it's only from my system. Maybe. Okay, it's fine then. Yeah, now it's fine. So EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud, 2C is there. That's why EC2. They're mentioning in this way. So EC2 is nothing but the servers that I told yesterday, and this is the most important one for a particular cloud providers. Over here in AWS, it's called EC2. If we are using Amazon, Azure or any other cloud providers, then the same things, the same server concept is there, but they are using a different naming convention of that server. Okay, maybe VMware. Uh, in Google Cloud as well, there's also option to launch a particular server, but the server, they're not calling the component name as EC2, but they're calling it with another name. Okay, in AWS we call the servers in EC2. Okay, Elastic Compute Cloud. So if we launch EC2, we can use this component as infrastructure as a service. Yesterday we told what is IaaS. There we are using a limited number of infrastructure from AWS. Limited number means we are using the networking, the infrastructure, the servers. That's it. We are not using the application data. If you can remember, yesterday we learned what is IaaS, what is PaaS, platform as a service. Then we are having uh, application as a service or software as a service at the end. SaaS. EC2, if we launch EC2, if we use the EC2, it should be the service called infrastructure as a service, IaaS. So what are the different capabilities? Okay, we can rent a particular virtual machine. I mentioned the same thing yesterday in yesterday's session that we can rent a EC2 server. Whenever it's required, we can take rent. We have to pay it hourly basis. Storing data on virtual drives. We can store data in Virtual drives, EBS means hard drives. What hard disks are been installed in our local system, in my desktop, in my laptops. The same kind of stuffs. It's not called hard disks over there. It's called virtual drives, or in short form, that is called EBS. Okay. You need to add EBS separately. While launching it, you also found in yesterday's session that uh, for a particular system configuration, they are only mentioning the CPU and RAM size there. So EBS is a separate one you need to attach to it. How many hard disk or how much hard disk you will be adding to the system, it's totally independent of the system configuration. Distributing load, it's load balancer ELB. Suppose you have multiple EC2 servers, you are just working on top of a web application. Okay. And those two EC2 servers are your hosting servers. And you can use load balancers so that the traffic can be balanced to each of the host system. So there is an easy way to use ELB. It's elastic load balancers. Scaling the service, auto scaling group is available. We can scale up, scale down the service at any time. Okay, let's see what is inside the EC2. What are the different aspects in EC2? The next slide. Okay, what are the different EC2 instances types? This kind of stuff we have already checked. Let me show you once more time. Actually, we check this thing as when we are checking the pricing part. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I just check with Amazon websites. It EC2 different instances types. What are the different instance? First of all, they are segregating the EC2 based on this kind of segmentation. That is general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, accelerated, computing, storage optimized, HPC optimized. As per this naming convention, general purpose it's fine. It can be used for any general purpose. Memory optimized, accelerated computing. So by the naming itself, we can able to understand what is that particular instance is required for. Okay, so the architect of that particular team, they can decide for which purpose I will be using that EC2. Specifically, we can use compute optimized or any general purpose as well, accelerated computing as well. So which one you want to use, just you need to check it. From each of the purpose, this is for general purpose, we have this kind of series is available. M7Z. Let me open any one of them. You can see those are the different options available. Okay. If we just go to the down, compute optimized, it's starting with C7Z. So inside C7Z, you can see lots of different things are available. C7Z dot medium, C7Z dot large, X large. Just check the specification. CPU is 1, memory is 2, internal storage. Storage means that hard disk, it should be EBS only. Network bandwidth, everything is there. Only the pricing part they are not mentioning over here because this is not a pricing calculator. This is just for instance types. Just choose the instance type over here. Which one you required as per your project specification. There is also memory optimized. It's mentioned over here. You can check for each of the systems. You can get it over here. Okay. Just remember which particular instance you need to choose from here. So that the same thing will be required again while launching the product. I'm going back to the PPT. Okay, now I'm inside the console itself. So in the console, this search bar is for searching EC2. So I typed EC2 over here and press enter. Then it will be it will be showing us what are the running EC2 instances. You can see it's 0. That means I haven't launched a particular EC2 instances over here in that particular AWS account yet. Okay. So I need to create one. So over here in the left hand panel as well, you can see instances new. So I clicked on it, instances new, and in the very next slides, it's giving me the options. It was also showing that there is no instances are available. If there is any instances available, then it should be listed down over here. Instance 1, 2, 3 in this manner. So here it's giving me the options of launching instances. So just click on their launch instances. After clicking on instance new, click on over here launch instances. Then what happened? Yes. Then all the options should be coming. That means the different parameters we need to input over here to create a new instance. So what are the different inputs we need to put? First of all, we need to put a name, a suitable name. Name is just for user. It's a user defined name. Okay. So, what particular EC2, you will be calling this EC2 by a name. So what should be the name? Just put the name over here. That's it. It's nothing big. So after putting it, let's scroll down. Scroll down of the same sheet. I have pasted it into the next PPT page. Yes. So it's application OS image. So which particular OS I need to choose? Those are the different OS available. Okay. So let's choose any one thing over here. If we can choose Amazon Linux, will showing us if we just choose Amazon Linux, what are the particular version I have there available? We can check it in this drop down. So select the main OS over here, and in the drop down, select the particular version of that OS. Okay. So I just clicked on the drop down and I showed to you by this Amazon Linux, we have this many options available. Okay, so I have chosen one of them. You can also see at the, beside each of this particular OS, they're showing which are eligible for free tier services and which are not. So each of the instance you can see here it's mentioned free tier available, free tier eligible, free tier eligible. Those things are not. Okay. Choose any one from them and scroll down. Okay, I'm scrolling it. Now it's showing us which is the instance type I need to choose. So in the previous slide we checked we need to choose the OS. After that we need to choose the instance type. Instance type just I showed you in my previous slide. So particular which instance I need to check. So it's T2 micro. We already checked it from here. What is T2 micro? T2 micro, it should be coming under. Let's see. Where is T series? We need to check where is T series available. Yes, T2. It's for general purpose. Okay. So this is T2 micro. So they are launching these particular instances. So that is why you need to choose first which instance you need to launch, because specifically this particular instances, we need to check for this instance because the money or the cost should be depend on this instance as well as the particular OS tagged with this instance. So those are the main important thing. Okay. So here also it's showing T2 micro having 1 CPU and 1 GB memory. Free tier eligible. Okay. They are showing some on-demand pricing as well for Linux and Windows. If it is not free tier, then I think it should be useful. So when free actually last day we checked for free tier services, it was there for some hours or maybe for 12 months. In 12 months, 750 hours, I can avail these free tier services. After this, after this, it will be charging in this manner. Okay. So on-demand Linux pricing, it's this 0.0126 USD per hour. On-demand Windows pricing, it's a bit high from Linux as per the OS. So you can see this is the USD per hour charging. Okay. In the below section, you can see it's a logging. How we'll be logging to this instance. So let's go to this. I have the detailed one for this in the below section. Yeah. So I just expand this thing in key pair login and it is showing me this kind of page. Okay. So for different key pair type. So while logging into a Linux server, you can log in it through some software just like Putty. Putty is one kind of software to connect a Linux server. So while connecting to a Linux server, there may be authentication of a key value pair. Okay. So key value pair type, I can choose any one of this thing. It can be RSA or it can be this one, ED25519. You can choose RSA. If we choose RSA, there is two kind of key file format. It can be .pem or .ppk. We can choose either of the one and just we can proceed with that thing. So based on that, when we will be submitting our request for creation of the virtual machines or that particular EC2 server, it will be helping us with that particular .pem or .ppk file so that we can launch the same. Okay. Okay. So in this slide, we are able to create proper authentication method. It's been done. Into the next slide, it's for the networking part. Okay. For networking part, those are the different options available. I told you that a VPC should be tagged with it. VPC is the collection of IP addresses, nothing but the collection of IP addresses, subnets. Okay. So a particular VPC, they are showing it. This in this account, this VPC is available, so they are tagging it. Okay. So if we are using a web application and this is the host server, this EC2 will be host server, then we can choose those kind of HTTPS, HTTP, those kind of stuffs over here. Otherwise, no need to do this thing. As we are using just for the Linux server for some SSH and all. So I just chose allow SSH traffic. Okay, just I checked it over here. Moving to the next topic. In the below section, they will be asking for the entire thing, whatever we are pasting it over here in PPT, entire thing should be there in a single sheet. We are just scrolling it down. So you can see this thing, it's already there. It's the below section of this part is configure storage. Okay, so we have done what things we have done till now. We have chosen OS, we have chosen particular instance type, we have chosen the particular authentication method of this server. Then we have chosen what are the different network parameters. Now the next topic is configure storage. We haven't started with the storage part. Storage means the EBS volume. Okay. So over here they are showing us what are the different EBS volume I can attach. So this is the option we have to put it over here. How much GB should be the size. Okay. So I can just change it, or we can also add new volume from here as well. Okay. So you can see the different thing. I added 8 GB. The volume type here also some specification is there, GP2, GP3. Okay, general purpose. It's a volume type. Okay, just select the suitable one that you require for your system and go to the below section. The below section, there is some advanced topics we need to put, especially the IAM authentication method. So that I mentioned in last class, there is two users, root user and identity access management stuffs is also there. So the person specifically only using the EC2, they should be authenticating not by the root user's mail ID. They should be authenticating by authenticate the particular thing by IAM, identity access management. Okay, and choose it proper way. What are the different IAM stuffs and all? And this is the last topic. Click on submit, and our instance is coming over here. This is the name that I put it over there. Instance ID should be auto generated from the systems. Earlier when we checked the instances, we found there is no particular things were listed over here. Now we just chosen the thing in T2 micro and we can see this is my first instance available. At the beginning it should be showing us pending. The instance state is pending. Just wait for few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and your instance test should be ready or running. Yes, it's in running state. You can see. So your instance is ready to be used now. If you just choose your instances, you can have various instances available over here. Various instances means you have launched different EC2 servers. Okay. Now you can check the particular EC2 servers over here and you can find all the parameters that you have inputted. It is having maintained in different tabs: details, security, networking, storage, status checks, monitoring, tags. So whatever inputs we have put it over there while creating it, it will be showing us all the things at the below section. You can see instance ID, public IPv4 addresses and all. Okay, so the same instance can be accessible while just creating that instances. They will be helping us with the .pem file and the key value. I mean, this is the key value pair actually. So while launching the same server, we can launch it by a putty software to connect that particular server. So that is easily possible. The same thing can be doable with the Windows systems as well. If we launch a Windows systems, it will be helping us with the ID and password, and we can quickly connect it from our remote desktops. Okay, just open remote desktops, put the ID password, and you can able to access that particular first instance. Okay, that is the concept. Okay, so this is one topic we just covered, how to create a new EC2 server. Okay, a new EC2. Any doubt till now? Prashanya?
Yeah, no
Okay,
doubts, sir.
it's actually very easy. Who knows the cloud part? It is not required a good technical knowledges as well. You just need to know the process or a particular habit to go through the particular portal. Okay, how to handle with the console. That's it. So I'm moving with the next topic. There is another important tool available or new component available. Not new actually. It's a very old component. It's called S3 bucket. Okay. So in the previous example, EC2, it's infrastructure as a service, but in S3, if we just consider S3, it's software as a service. So S3 bucket, we can store any kind of files over here. Okay, and it's infinitely scaled. There is no limitation how much data I can insert it. Based on the utilization volume, it will charging us, and the charge is very less. You can just search with S3 bucket charges. You can see if we store multiple things, multiple uh, sizes of file over there, it will charging us very less amount. Okay, so why is S3 bucket is being used? It's one of the main building blocks in AWS. That is fine. As I mentioned, it's infinitely scaling storage. There is no limitation. You are keep adding the files, the size of the S3 bucket, the host size of the S3 bucket will keep increasing. So all the other things are already there. Disaster recovery is there for every one components, not only S3 that we mentioned already. Yeah, one of the main important things we can use for the data lake and the big data analytics in S3 bucket. Okay, we can do one more things. We can put the files in S3 bucket, and we can access the same file in a relational database manner. On top of the S3 bucket, I can query in a select star statement, select star from, and I can call that particular file with a relational database format. So we can integrate multiple tools. So I can integrate a query engine service on top of S3 bucket, maybe Hive or any other thing. And I can create external table on top of a particular file stored in S3 bucket. Okay. So I'm storing the data in a file format in S3 bucket, but it is being used in the, UI side. We can quickly check the particular file in relational database format, in tabular format. Okay. So this is very useful in nature. We can also use this thing as web application. An integration tool just I mentioned over here. Okay. So just how it stores the data, it stores the objects into directory. In the Windows system, there is folders, files, the same kind of stuffs. We can store the data in S3 bucket. S3 bucket name should be unique in nature for that particular account, and there should be particular naming conventions. Just it should not be starting with numericals or particular symbols. So the naming conventions are there while creating S3 bucket. Similar kind of stuffs we can check with the S3 part in the search box. If there is any S3, it will be showing us in the below section. If there is nothing, we can just go ahead with create new S3 bucket. If we just click on create new, it will be asking for this parameter. As that particular S3 bucket, it's software as a service, very limited parameters we need to put over here, because we do not have to bother which is the server, what kind of Linux, whether it's a OS, what kind of OS it should be there, and all. No need to think about the particular servers over here. We just directly put a few parameters to launch the S3 bucket. No need to bother about which particular computer that particular S3 bucket will be hosted or anything. So just put the bucket name, choose the particular region, and you just have to check with the authentication methods. Those are the two things. I haven't mentioned this thing in my screenshots over here. Just choose those things and click on final submit, and your test bucket should be ready. Okay. So it's very simple. When we are launching a particular software as a service, we should not have to put lots of stuff there. There is very minimum stuff, so we just have to put there. Okay. Okay, I just put some more topics over here. We just covered EC2, S3, these two topics. I'll not be showing the EMR over here. Just giving you a basic introduction. It's called Elastic MapReduce. It's one of the important component available in AWS. So it's been used for a big data platform. EMR consists of multiple EC2 servers. As we know, big data, how the big data process. So, in tomorrow's session, we'll be learning how a big data can be processed. You can see in big data, multiple computers are there. So big data means, I mean, they're processing large files or large number of data. How they're processing it? They're not processing it by a single EC2 server. They are the collection of EC2 servers, and they're segregating the works between multiple EC2 servers. So in EMR clusters, if we just check the architecture of EMR cluster, it consists of multiple task node. Okay, task node, we can also call it slave nodes. We have one master nodes and various slave nodes. Slave nodes can be various EC2 servers. Master node can be a single EC2 server. Okay, so when we are assigning a task, master node will check with that particular worker nodes, how many worker nodes are there, and they can segregate the work between them. As we are segregating the work between them, the work should be much more faster. The computed power should be also segregated. Okay, so we are just mapping the individual work to individual worker node, and when their task is completed, we are reducing the particular workers and we are combining the result, okay, into a single piece of return statement or just like this, and we are getting the output from the master node again. So this is the concept of EMR. EMR is the collection of lots of EC2 server. So while choosing or while launching a EC2, or while launching a EMR clusters, we need to put all those instances name. What kind of EC2 you will be using? I mean, what are the different instances types for that EC2s and all? So that thing we need to check it there. Okay. So AWS serverless, those are some components of serverless AWS. We are telling it serverless, but actually it's not a serverless. There must be a hosting server, but we do not have to bother about the server. That is why it's called serverless components. So the things, I mean, we have already learned, I mean, we told about AWS Lambda. Lambda is nothing, we can do the coding part, just like in Python, we are using PyCharm over here. We have installed the PyCharm in our local host or local server or local computer, rather we can say. But in AWS Lambda, you can just choose Lambda, and there is a drop down to choose which particular language I need to go ahead. So I can choose JavaScript, I can choose Java, I can choose Python, anything. So let's choose Python, and then in the below section, you have the coding part. So choose Python and write your Python code there and execute it. So AWS Lambda function will be giving you a execution host platform there. So how many time you are executing it, based on that it will be chargeable. Yesterday we checked that it's very, I mean, nearly something 1 lakhs or let me show you. There is, in the free tier account we can go ahead, lots of execution. Free tier AWS. If we just check it for Lambda function. Okay, for storage S3 bucket, we can store 5 GB of data. It's free of cost in 12 months. Okay. Okay. For compute purpose, we are using AWS Lambda. There we can have 1 million execution. Okay, 1 million compute service. We can get it. Okay. I mean, there is also some database. I mean, I mean, there are databases as well. We can use the database directly from there. So we can use databases in two ways that I mentioned already. We can use the infrastructure as a service. That means we can launch an EC2. Now I am owning that EC2. I can install a particular database in that EC2. That is possible. And also I can use a ready-made database available from AWS. There no need to launch any EC2 or nothing. We can directly use the database itself over there. So database, there is different messaging services available, storage systems available where we do not have to think about the servers. We just have to launch the particular databases. Databases are available, just click and launch. Okay. And your database is ready over there. But this can be a bit chargeable because you are not managing the database. The AWS team is managing the database. That is why it's chargeable. Yeah, that's all for today's session. So this is the very high level concept. What are the different AWS component? Actually, there are lots of components available. We just picked up few of them which are very important, and those can be used for each of the project. We cannot launch a project without EC2. We can see EC2 is useful almost every project. Okay, EC2, S3 bucket, those are the main core AWS components. Okay, and if we get time, if you have the access to the AWS console, you can see there are lots of other tools are available. You can go through one by one and can check how the things are working. Okay, any doubt till now?
No doubts, Swaptik. It is clear.
Okay, so today, I mean, this is the thing, nothing more than that. So tomorrow we'll be starting with the big data. Big data first day, it should be conceptual, and the very next day onwards, it should be a bit technical. And I'll be telling you what kind of softwares needs to be installed for big data tomorrow. So you can install it maybe this Friday or next week. We'll be going ahead with the hands-on part. Okay, for big data.
Okay. Okay, Swaptik.
Okay, then thanks. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.